Lena sat alone in the lab, staring at the glowing blue liquid inside the small glass vial. Her fingers trembled a little as she held it with metal tongs. This was not an ordinary liquid, it was alien DNA recovered from a crashed Valari ship. Last year, only a few people on Earth had access to it. Lena was one of them. She was not a higher-ranking scientist, just an assistant. But she was smart and careful. That's why Dr. Marn had trusted her with this late-night test. The lab was quiet. The rest of the building was almost empty. Outside, the sky was dark, and the stars blinked faintly. Lena's white coat felt too big for her small frame. She took a deep breath and reached for the testing chamber. Then she heard footsteps, turning. Around quickly, her heart jumped when she saw Tom, the janitor, walking in. He had short brown hair, kind eyes, and always wore old sneakers. He was holding a mop and a bucket, humming a quiet tune. "Oh, you scared me," Lena said, lowering the vial carefully. "Sorry," Tom said with a gentle smile. "Didn't know anyone was still working." Lena tried to smile back. "Just finishing some tests." Tom nodded. Didn't ask questions. He never did. That's what made him easy to trust. Still, she didn't want anyone near the DNA. As Lena turned back toward her table, her sleeve caught the edge of the metal tray. The glass vial slipped from the tongs. "No." She shouted. The vial flew toward the floor. Reflexively, Tom rushed forward and caught it, but in doing so, the sharp end of the injector pierced his hand. His eyes widened. The blue liquid entered his bloodstream. Then his knees buckled, and he collapsed. Lena froze. "Tom," she screamed. Running to him, his body was twitching slightly, eyes closed. His skin turned pale, then shimmered faintly for a second. So fast, she wasn't even sure if she had seen it. Her hands shook as she checked. His pulse. He was alive. But something was wrong. She didn't know what to do. Calling the lab leaders would expose her mistake. Worse, Tom could be locked away, or worse. This was alien DNA. No one knew what it could do to a human. She had to act fast. Lena pressed a button under the desk. A hidden panel opened in the wall. It was a secret room used only for emergencies. With effort, she dragged Tom inside and placed him gently on the medical bed. Machines activated automatically, scanning his body. Lines of data flashed on the screen, DNA merging. Cellular transformation. Foreign energy detected. Her breath caught. Oh no, what did I do? Tom lay motionless. Lena sat beside him, staring at the monitor. She was scared, not just for him, but for herself. If anyone found out, she could lose everything. For the next 2 hours, she stayed there, watching his breathing, checking the scans. The alien DNA wasn't hurting him. In fact, it was doing the opposite. His body was repairing itself, healing faster. His blood cells were stronger. Then, just before dawn, Tom opened his eyes. He blinked, confused. Lena. She leaned forward quickly. "Tom, are you okay? How do you feel?" He sat up slowly, looking around. I feel strange. Like I can hear things. Not with my ears. In my mind." Lena's eyes widened. Tom placed his hand on the wall, and the metal surface rippled like water. Lena jumped back. "That's not normal." "I know," he whispered. He looked at his palm. Skin was glowing faintly blue where the injector had pierced him. "What happened to me?" he asked. Lena didn't know how to answer. She took a deep breath. It was an accident. The vial. The DNA sample. It injected into you when you caught it. Tom didn't speak for a while. Then he simply said, "I believe you." Lena felt tears in her eyes. He wasn't angry. He wasn't scared. He trusted her. "I'll help you," she said, "no matter what. I'll fix this." Tom gave a small smile. "Maybe this isn't something to fix. Maybe it's something to understand." Lena looked at him. He was right. This might be the beginning of something new, something bigger. But in the shadows of the lab, cameras had silently recorded everything. And in a tall building far away, Dr. Martin watched the footage with cold eyes. Tom sat on the edge of the bed in the hidden lab room. His hands were shaking slightly, but not from fear. Something inside him was changing. He could feel it in his blood, in his breath, in his mind. His hearing was sharper. His eyes saw more. Detail. He could feel the heartbeat of Lena, even though she was standing 5 feet away. "Lena," he said softly, "I can hear things. Not sounds, thoughts, emotions." She turned from the computer screen and looked at him with wide eyes. "Are you sure?" Tom nodded. "You're scared, but not of me. You're scared someone will find out." Lena didn't answer. Shh. Looked away. The scanner behind her beeped. New data appeared on the screen. Alien DNA, 42% activation. Neural enhancements detected. Energy field forming. Lena swallowed hard. "Your brain is changing. It's adapting fast. Too fast." Tom stood up slowly. His body felt stronger. His legs, arms, and even his chest felt lighter, as if gravity had weakened. He raised his hand and looked at it. Blue lines glowed under, his skin like soft light. Then something strange happened. The lights in the room flickered. A metal chair across the room floated up a few inches and then dropped with a loud clang. Lena jumped. Tom stepped back. "I didn't mean to do that." "Think it's you," she said quietly. "Your energy's growing. You're not just healing, you're becoming something else." Tom looked around. "We need to leave this place." Lena nodded. "Yes, Dr. Martin has cameras in every room. He's probably watching already." As if to confirm her words, a red light flashed on the wall. A deep voice echoed through a hidden speaker. "Lena, Tom, do not leave the building. Security's on the way." Lena grabbed Tom's hand. "We're out of time. Come on." They rushed into the back hallway, moving quickly through dark corridors few people knew about. Lena had worked in the lab for 2 years. She knew where the hidden doorways were, where the cameras didn't reach. She led Tom to a maintenance tunnel behind the storage room. The air smelled of dust and oil, but it was safe for now. Tom kept looking at his hands. "Why me? Why did it work on me?" "I don't know," Lena said. "We've tried alien DNA on plants, rats, but it never worked like this. Body is special." Tom looked at her, his eyes glowing faintly. "Or maybe it's not just the DNA. Maybe I already had something inside me, something waiting to be awakened." They pushed open a small hatch and stepped outside. It was still early morning. The sun was just rising, casting golden light across the city. Cars passed by. People walked to work, unaware that something extraordinary had just happened underground. Tom looked at the sky. Everything feels different, even the air. "We need to go somewhere safe," Lena said. "I know a place, my old mentor's house. No one will think to look there." Tom nodded, led the way. An hour later, they reached a small cabin at the edge of the forest, far from the city. It was quiet, hidden by tall trees and thick grass. Air smelled clean, and birds chirped above. Lena unlocked the door and let Tom inside. "This place hasn't been touched in months," she said, brushing dust off the old table, "but it's safe. My mentor was careful, even built a signal blocker here. No drones, no cameras, nothing." Tom sat down, feeling calm for the first time since the accident. "Thank you," he said, "for helping me." Lena gave a small smile. "It was my fault. I'm just glad you're okay." Tom looked around. "What did your mentor do?" "He studied alien energy secretly, of course. He believed Earth had something special, something the universe hadn't seen before." Tom closed his eyes. "Can feel things now. Energy in the walls, light in the air. I think I can read something." He walked over to a bookshelf and pulled out an old journal. The writing inside was strange symbols, not letters. Lena looked at it. "I've seen these before. They came from the Valari ship." Tom touched the page. The symbols began to glow. His eyes widened. "I understand them. What do they say?" Lena asked. Tom read slowly. "The one who holds the seed will awaken the star within. The blood must choose, and Earth shall rise or fall." Lena stared at him. "You're reading alien language, like it's English." Tom sat down, breathing hard. "Something is calling me." A voice far away. "It's not words, but I can feel it." She placed a hand on his shoulder. "We'll figure it out. together. But even as she spoke, fear grew in her chest. What if this wasn't just a change in Tom? What if something bigger had begun? Far away, in a dark control room, Dr. Marn stood in front of a large screen showing Tom and Lena inside the cabin. He couldn't hear them, but he could see. Behind him, 2 agents waited. "Should we send the team, sir?" Dr. Marn shook his head. "Not yet. Let's see what he becomes." He narrowed his eyes. "Human or not, you may need him when the real threat arrives." The next morning, Tom stood outside the cabin, watching the trees sway in the wind. Sunlight touched his face, but he wasn't thinking about the weather. He was thinking about the voice, the soft whisper in his mind that kept repeating the same message. "Come to me. The star must wake." He didn't understand who was calling him or why, but he could feel the pull, like gravity, like a memory he never knew he had. Inside the cabin, Lena was pacing the floor. She had barely slept. Tablets showed government networks news, hidden messages, satellite movement. Her hands trembled slightly as she scanned through the data. "They're looking for you," she said. Tom came in, quiet as ever. "How many? Too many?" Lena said. "Military drones, patrols, even satellite heat scanners. They've locked down the entire city." Tom looked calm. "So they know I escaped." "They know more than that," she said, lowering her voice. "They saw the footage. They know what you did to the chair, the lights, the energy. They think you're dangerous." Tom didn't deny it. "Maybe I am." Lena stepped closer. "You saved me. You didn't hurt anyone. You're not dangerous. They just don't understand." "But they won't wait to understand," Tom said. "They'll act first." Suddenly, the lights inside the cabin flickered. Tom turned quickly. A sharp pain hit his head, and he dropped to his knees. Lena rushed to him. "What's wrong?" Tom closed his eyes tightly. The voice, louder now. "It's showing me something," gasped as a vision filled his mind. He was floating in space. A massive planet below him, a bright star burning above. A tall, alien figure with glowing silver eyes stood before him. She had long hair like threads of light. Her voice echoed in his skull. "You are the key. The blood has chosen. But others will come, protect the child. Protect the world." The vision faded. Tom opened his eyes. Lena stared at him. "What did you see?" "A woman," Tom said. "Not human. Maybe Valari." She said, "I'm the key." Lena's face went pale. Before she could speak, an alarm beeped. "On her tablet, drone incoming," she whispered. "Less than a minute away." Tom stood up. "We need to run." They grabbed only what they needed: Lena's tablet, a bag of supplies, and a device her mentor had built, an energy blocker, small but powerful. They exited through the back, moving fast through the trees. The drone passed overhead, scanning the cabin, but couldn't find them. The signal blocker worked. They kept moving for hours, deeper into the forest, until they reached an old tunnel entrance hidden by vines. It led to an abandoned underground station. Inside, they rested. The air was cold, but it was safe. Lena sat against the wall, rubbing her eyes. "I can't believe this is happening," she said. "You're hearing alien voices. You're being hunted, and now, I think..." She stopped. Tom looked at her. "You think what?" She looked down. Her hands rested on her stomach. "I've been feeling strange, lightheaded, sick in the mornings. I thought it was stress. I ran a scan on myself using the med tool." Tom waited. Lena looked up slowly. "I'm pregnant." Silence. Tom didn't speak at first. His face didn't show fear or anger, only quiet shock. "But how? It's only been, I don't know," Lena said quickly. "But your DNA isn't normal anymore. Something changed in you. Maybe that changed everything." Tom stepped back, running a hand through his hair. "And the baby? Is it normal?" She shook her head. "I don't think so. There's something different." The scans showed energy patterns. "Like yours?" Tom sat down beside her. "I'm sorry," Lena whispered. This wasn't your choice. He looked at her, soft eyes full of wonder. No, he said, but it might be our destiny. They stayed quiet for a while, then Tom stood up. We can't run forever. We need answers. From where? Lena asked. There's a place, Tom said. The voice in my head showed me. A mountain, shaped like a crown. It was glowing in the vision. Lena pulled out her tablet. I've seen something like that. An area that was closed off last year after a meteor crash. Satellite images were blocked. Government said it was a rock slide, but I knew it wasn't. Tom nodded. That's where we need to go. Suddenly, they heard footsteps above. Heavy boots, shouting, Unit 3, check below. They might be in the tunnels. Lena's eyes widened. They found us. Tom grabbed her hand. Hold on to me. What are you doing? She asked. Tom took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and reached inside himself, searching for the power. A low hum filled the air. His skin glowed blue. The walls around them shook. Then, in a blink, both of them vanished. The soldiers rushed into the room, guns ready, but it was empty. Only dust and silence remained. They reappeared in a field 5 miles away. Lena gasped. You teleported. Tom nodded, breathing hard. It took everything I had, but I'll learn more. I have to. Lena looked at him, holding her stomach gently. Then we better get to that mountain before they catch us again. Tom looked at the horizon, and far away, under the stars, a glowing, crown-shaped mountain waited. The mountain stood tall in the distance, shaped like a crown, just like in Tom's vision. Sharp peaks reached toward the sky, glowing faintly in the early morning light. Thick fog covered the base, and the air around it felt strange heavy and quiet. Tom and Lena had been walking for 2 days. They avoided cities, roads, and cameras. They moved through forests and small villages, only stopping when necessary. Tom's powers were growing stronger each day, but so was the connection to the strange voice in his head. We're almost there, Tom said, pointing at the glowing peak. Lena held her coat tight around her. Are you sure we'll find answers? There, Tom looked at her gently. I don't know, but I feel like someone is waiting. They reached the foot of the mountain by noon. The area was blocked off by old fences and warning signs. Danger, radiation, do not enter. But the signs were lies. Lena scanned the area with her device. No radiation, just energy. Alien energy. Tom placed his hand on the fence, and it melted quietly, creating a path. They walked through the fog slowly. The land was quiet. No birds, no animals, just stillness. As they climbed, Lena's steps became slower. She stopped and leaned against a rock. Tom turned around quickly. Are you okay? She nodded, breathing hard. Just tired. It's been a long walk. Tom helped her sit. We can rest. Lena touched her stomach. It wasn't showing yet, but she felt something different inside. A small heartbeat, full of life. She smiled faintly, even through the pain. Tom sat beside her. You've been strong this whole time. I'm not the one glowing and lifting rocks with my mind, she said, laughing softly. Tom smiled. No, but you're carrying something just as powerful. They stayed there for a few minutes. Then the ground below them rumbled. A deep sound echoed from within the mountain, like a slow heartbeat. Tom stood up. It's calling again. They followed the sound into a hidden cave near the top. The entrance was covered in vines and stone, but it opened as Tom approached. Inside, the walls glowed with soft blue light. Symbols were carved all around, Vellery symbols, just like the ones Tom could read. This is it, Lena whispered. They walked into a large chamber. In the center was a glowing pool of water. Above it, a figure hovered in the air made of light and energy. She had silver eyes and long hair that floated like mist. It was the same being from Tom's vision. She turned slowly as they entered. Her voice filled the chamber, soft and clear. Welcome, child of earth and star. Tom stepped forward. Who are you? Die. The Vellari Queen. The Vellari Queen. Lena stood beside Tom, holding his hand. The queen looked at both of them long, Ago, we placed our DNA across the stars, searching for a world strong enough to hold our legacy. Most failed, but Earth awakened the power. Tom asked, "Why me?" "Because your blood carries ancient strength. The seed inside you grew fast, and now it grows in her too." Lena touched her stomach. "You mean the baby?" "Yes," said the queen. "A child of two worlds, human and Valari. One day this child may unite more than just species. It may change the balance of power in the galaxy." Tom looked at Lena, speechless. The queen continued, "But others. No, the Drox, a dark race. They destroyed our people. Now they come for Earth." Tom stepped forward. "Then we must stop them." Asterisk, asterisk, "You will need more than strength," said the queen. "You need control, knowledge, and purpose." "Let me give you what you need." She raised her hands. A beam of light shot from her to Tom. His body rose in the air, eyes glowing, arms stretched wide. Symbols covered his skin, then faded. He floated back down slowly. Tom opened his eyes. "I can feel everything. The earth, the sky, even the stars." The queen looked at Lena. "And you, mother of the future, must protect him. Your bond keeps him human." Lena nodded slowly. Then the queen began to fade. Her final words echoed. "The Drox are near. Go. Prepare. Fight not only for Earth, but for all that is still free." The chamber went dark. Tom and Lena stood in silence. He looked at her. "Are you scared?" She took his hand. "Yes, but I believe in you, and in what we're creating." Outside the cave, dark clouds gathered, far above the earth. In space, a black ship appeared, massive and cold. Red lights flashed along its body. Inside, a creature with yellow eyes looked at the screen showing Earth. "They have awakened the key," it growled. "Then we crush them before the child is born." The sky over Earth began to change. From orbit, the Drox black ship cast a long shadow, darkening the upper layers of the atmosphere. Governments picked up the signal, but most of them stayed silent. Only a few knew the truth, and they were afraid. Deep in the mountain cave, Tom and Lena stood in front of the glowing pool, both quiet, both thinking about what came next. Tom had changed again. After the Valari queen shared her power, his body was stronger, faster, and more aware. He didn't just see with his eyes, he felt energy, life, and danger. But with this new strength came responsibility, and he knew the Drox would not wait.
"We
don't have much time," Tom said. Lena nodded. "They're coming, aren't they?" "Yes," he replied. "And they won't stop until Earth is destroyed, or I'm taken." Lena walked to a nearby rock table where her tablet and tools were spread out. "Then we prepare." She had started building something days ago, a special suit, powered by Valari energy, designed to help Tom control the power growing inside him. It was sleek, made from a rare metal her mentor had left behind. Tom called it the balance suit. "This will protect you from overload," Lena said, checking a glowing core. "It adjusts your energy when you use too much at once." Tom watched her closely. Her hands moved carefully, her eyes focused, even though her face looked tired. "You haven't rested in days," he said. She smiled a little. "Neither have you." Tom walked over and placed his hand gently on her stomach. "How's the baby?" She looked down at his hand. "Still healthy, still growing." Tom nodded. "Then we fight for more than just survival. We fight for our child." He stepped back and closed his eyes. He began training again. Every day, Lena watched him practice. He moved large rocks without touching them. He could jump higher than any human, run without tiring, and now could even form a protective shield around his body using energy. But what impressed Lena most wasn't his power, it was his heart. No matter how strong he became, he stayed kind, gentle, and focused on protecting, not hurting. Late at night, they sat near a fire just outside the cave. Lena leaned against him. "You know, before all this, I was just a lab assistant. I didn't even think I mattered," Tom looked at her. You matter more than anyone I've ever known. It gave me a reason to keep going. They sat in silence for a while, watching stars blink above. Then a small drone fell from the sky and landed near them, damaged and burning. Tom jumped up, scanning the sky. They're close. Lena checked the drone. Military tech. To warn someone, but failed. Tom looked up again. A red light blinked far above. They've entered orbit. At the same time, inside a military bunker deep beneath Earth's surface, Dr. Martin watched the Drox ship on the main screen. His face was tight, his hands clenched. One of his officers turned. Sir, do we engage? Dr. Martin didn't answer. His eyes focused on another screen-alive satellite feed, showing Tom and Lena in the mountain. Bring them in, he said coldly. We need him. Earth won't survive without him. Sir, the officer asked. What if he doesn't? Come willingly? Dr. Martin narrowed his eyes. Then we take her. Back at the mountain, Lena was testing the final piece of Tom's suit when the ground shook. Earthquake. She asked. No, Tom said. They're here. Above them, clouds cracked open. A beam of red light shot down, opening a portal in the sky. From it, small black ships flew out, like insects from a nest. Tom pulled on his new suit, the metal fitting perfectly around him. Blue light ran through its lines. He turned to Lena. Stay here. I'll stop them. She grabbed his arm. Don't! Go alone. Tom held her hand. I have to, but I'll come back. He kissed her forehead and jumped into the air, rising higher than ever before. The suit carried him up, glowing like a comet. As he reached the sky, Drox fighters closed in. Tom raised his hands. A wave of energy burst out, throwing the ships back. But more came. He spun, dodged, and fired blue blasts from his palms. The sky became a battlefield. On the ground, Lena worked fast. She opened a secure channel using the Valari tech from her mentor's notes. This is Lena, she said. To anyone listening, the Earth is under attack by a hostile alien force. One human Tom has the power to fight them. Support him, or we all fall. The signal reached hidden corners of the world's secret bases, resistance groups, and old scientists who had once worked on alien research. One by one, they responded. Back in the air, Tom fought with skill and fire, but even with his strength, he was outnumbered. Then, to his surprise, a group of human fighter jets appeared, flying. In formation, a voice came through his com. You're not alone, Tom. We've got your back. It was General Brooks, an old pilot who once trained Lena's mentor. Together, they pushed back the Drox wave. But high above, inside the main black ship, the Drox leader growled. Enough games, he said. Send the destroyer. A new ship. Dropped from the mothership, twice as large, covered in red lights. Tom turned. His eyes narrowed. The real battle had begun. The sky above the mountain was dark with warships. The Drox destroyer had arrived, larger and more terrifying than anything Tom had ever seen. Its red lights pulsed like a beating heart, casting a deep shadow on the land below. Tom hovered just above the treetops, his suit glowing bright blue. The wind whipped around him, but he stayed steady, as locked on the enemy ship. This ends now, he said softly to himself. Below, Lena worked in the cave's command center. She monitored satellite feeds and military channels, her fingers flying over the controls. Sweat dripped down her forehead, but she did not stop. Tom, we've got incoming fighters, Lena said into the com. I see them, Tom replied. I'm ready. From the destroyer, Drox ships poured out like a swarm of angry bees. They dove toward Earth, firing bright red lasers that cut through the sky. Tom raised his hands. Blue energy formed around him like a shield, blocking the lasers. Then he launched powerful blasts back at the ships, sending them crashing to the ground, but more kept coming. Suddenly, one ship broke through and headed straight for Lena's location. Tom gasped. Lena, get down. The ship fired. Lena dove behind a control panel just as an explosion rocked the cave. Dust filled the air. Lena coughed, but quickly stood up. Tom. That was too close, she said. I'm coming. Tom shouted, flying at full speed. He reached the cave just as the ship's pilot ran toward Lena, a dark figure in black armor. Without hesitation, Tom struck with a blast of energy. The pilot was thrown back, crashing into the wall. Lena looked at Tom, eyes wide. You saved me, he smiled. Always. Suddenly, Lena's face twisted in pain. Lena, Tom asked, rushing to her side. My baby, she whispered. What? It's coming early. Tom's heart raced. We need to get you to safety. He lifted her gently and flew out of the cave. The war raged around them ships, exploded energy. Beams lit the sky. Tom headed for a hidden medical facility deep underground, a place Lena's mentor had prepared for emergencies. Inside, doctors waited, surprised but ready. Lena lay on a bed, breathing hard. Tom held her hand tightly. The medical team worked quickly. Machines beeped, lights flashed. After what felt like hours, a soft cry filled the room. Lena's eyes filled with tears. It's a girl, Tom smiled, exhausted but happy. She's perfect. The baby's skin glowed faintly, blue, half human, half Valari. The doctors were amazed, but said nothing. Tom looked at Lena. We did it. Outside, the battle continued. The Drox destroyer fired a massive beam at the mountain, causing the ground to shake. Tom knew this was the final attack. He stood at the mountain's peak, the baby safe, with Lena below. His eyes burned bright blue as he faced the ship. With all his strength, he gathered energy from the earth, the sky, and the stars. A giant ball of blue light formed in his hands. He threw it at the destroyer. The ship exploded in a storm of fire and metal. The Drox forces retreated, defeated for now. Tom fell to his knees, breathing hard. Lena rushed to him, holding their baby. We're safe, she said softly. For now, Tom replied. He looked at the stars. This is only the beginning. The battle was over. The sky was calm again, but the world was changed forever. Tom held their daughter gently, her small hands wrapped around his finger, her eyes glowing a soft blue. It was quiet, peaceful, but powerful like a tiny star born. On Earth, Lena sat beside him, her hand resting on his arm. She smiled tiredly. She's beautiful. Tom nodded. She is. And she's our future. News of the Drox defeat spread quickly. Governments around the world announced the threat and called for peace. They promised to work together, to protect Earth and prepare for what might come next. But not everyone was ready. In a dark room, a group of leaders whispered in fear. The Valari bloodline is stronger than we thought, one said. We must control it. Tom and Lena knew their lives would never be simple again, but they were ready. Months passed. Tom trained their daughter, teaching her to control the power inside her. She learned quickly, lifting small objects, lighting candles without a match, and even speaking in the alien language Tom had once studied. Lena continued her research, working to understand the Valari DNA and the mysteries of the universe. Together, they built a new home near the mountain, the place where it all began. One evening, as the sun set behind the peaks, Tom and Lena stood outside, watching their daughter play in the grass. She's amazing, Lena said softly. Tom smiled. She's hope. Suddenly, their daughter stopped and looked up at the sky. Her eyes glowed brighter. Lena and Tom followed her gaze. A small, bright light moved slowly among the stars. It was not a star or satellite. It was a ship. The light grew larger and clearer. Valaria's ship, shining silver and blue. Tom's eyes widened. They're coming back. Lena took a deep breath. Maybe it's time to welcome them. Tom looked at his family. We survived. Because we stood together, he said. Now, we must protect Earth and everything we love. Lena nodded. Together. Their daughter smiled, reaching out her small hand. The future was uncertain, but it was theirs, and for the first time, the stars felt like home.